Hello, everybody. Hi, hi. Welcome to today's connection and meditation and deepening of our relationship with our soul energy. Thanks so much for being here. Really great to see. I'm seeing some of you guys in the chat. Love that. Love to see where you guys are all from. We've got New Mexico, Massachusetts, Berkeley, California. Um, New Zealand, that's awesome, I love it. Florida, so fun. Nicaragua, yay! So fun to see you guys all there. Um, so hello, hello. Hey, Barbara, it's so great to see you guys. I love this. I love this format of being able to easily just send out a link and have you guys all connect here. It's fantastic. Today is a pretty exciting moment for all of us because we are going through a really, really interesting moment in our own soul journey as a collective. And on the individual level, we are each experiencing this in our own unique way. But really, what is happening right now today is that we are right about to go through a solar eclipse. And that's really special for a number of different reasons that I'm going to touch on. Um, you know, as an energy healer, I know that everything that occurs in the physical, because we come from energy and we create ourselves in physicality, and that everything that occurs in the physical is really a metaphor or an example of what the underlying energy behind it means. And so we're going to talk a bit about that today and how that relates to the eclipse and what's going on the planet. But I want to first start out with taking you on a bit of a journey. And that really is the journey that your soul has been on and the process that you've gone through as a human and incarnating on earth at this time, and what a special experience that truly is because of what we're going through right now. So let's start with this journey of the soul. And really, the point of today is to understand how we can become closer and more connected to our soul energy. So, let's understand a bit more about how our soul communicates with us. When we come and incarnate on earth and we decide to have a physical experience and we decide to recognize ourselves through physicality and through contrast, because earth is really a place of contrast. We've always been in a corporeal environment. Everything around us, our table, chairs, right, our bodies, they have physical matter to them. We come in as energy, as light, but that energy and light moves from a wave into a particle to create itself in matter. But our soul, from which we come from, and this small packet of information of light and frequency that vibrates into form becomes the two cells that lend their genetic material and create you as you were, and you grow into a small child after you're a baby. And you're very close to that experience of remembering who you are as a soul. It's very easy as a child, and we see lots of babies who have that memory within them. Oh, right. They're not so far away. You can tell sometimes small children will have very distinct and clear past life memories because they're not that far from when their soul brought them in and transitioned from the last lifetime that they were experiencing into this one. So your soul is constantly feeding you with the information and the energy you need to continue to incarnate into the physical. It's like a beacon or a homing signal, and it's constantly shining inside of you. And the pathway to that light is through the heart, and we'll talk about that a bit more in a moment. But if you can imagine that you've got this pulsating light within you that represents your soul energy. And when you're small, it's a little easier to feel and to experience that light. And as you grow older and you begin to become conditioned by this very physical environment, the amnesia sets in. Also, we've been existing in the third dimensional frequencies, and That is the place of contrast, and that's where we get very caught up in the light and the dark, the good and the bad. I am this, I am not that, and really defining ourselves through our physicality. And that signal is a little harder for us to hear and to see. It's not that it diminishes in its quality or in its strength in any way. It's always beating that same pulse of light to remind you who and what you truly are. But our ability to feel it and to hear it, to see it, to know ourselves as it really diminishes as we get older. And then at some point, we might have some sort of awakening experience. We might have a near death experience. We might go through addiction. We might go through extreme loss of a loved one or of even small material possessions. There's a lot of things that can bring us back into a state of sensitivity to that soul energy. And when that happens, we start to feel that pulsing light again, and it draws us back in like a beacon. And for some of you, you've just been on this long, gradual process of unfolding and removing the layers of the amnesia and coming into this place where, oh, I remember, I remember, I remember. I can feel that again within me. Then we come to a time like this on the planet when the frequency increases, the earth is shifting, she's ascending, she's changing, and she is evolving into a higher state of expression, a higher state meaning a higher frequency. And so as she's evolving, we're going along with her, we're feeling the pull. And the reason that is so is because when we are bathed in a higher frequency of light, in a lighter density than the one we've been existing in, what happens is that it gets easier to feel that beam of light that's been pulsating within you your entire life, but now it becomes louder and clearer, and you start to feel it. And when that happens, we start to remember, oh, I'm so much more than I was told. I'm so much more than I was led to believe. Now we come to one of the, I would say, concentrations of the opportunity to feel our soul. It's either a solstice, an equinox, or an eclipse. And it generally has to do with large planetary movements or big events. It seems as though around the big events, it's when we get a lot of extra information and data that our bodies are absorbing and responding to. So in this case, tomorrow, we have a wonderful solar eclipse. Now, it's a very rare type of solar eclipse we're having. It's called a hybrid solar eclipse. It is both um, the type of solar eclipse in which we will see the shadow of the moon cross the earth, but it's also the type of solar eclipse, which is like a total solar eclipse, where we'll see the ring of fire. Now, you have to be in select places on the planet to see that dramatic effect. But if you do happen to be in one of those places out in the Pacific, I know Australia is going to see some of them. I think Papua New Guinea, um, the northwest of the United States should be seeing some of it, as well as there's this whole swath that goes down parts of Central and South America. So there will be many parts of the planet. So it depends on where you are on the planet for your exposure to the most intense aspects of any particular solar eclipse. But we can all feel it. And you've probably been feeling the lead up to this solar eclipse because this is a big one because it's got two different aspects of itself rolled into one. So that's the one thing. The other thing that I mentioned earlier is that everything that occurs in the physical, in this beautiful world of density that we live in and contrast, has an underpinning of energy behind it. So I like to look at the metaphor of everything. So if you think about an eclipse, what is occurring, whether it's solar or lunar, what is occurring is that number one, there's an alignment happening. So Earth, Sun, and Moon are aligned. So three bodies, three celestial bodies are aligned. So alignments are good, right? That's when we can have leaps in our evolution, in our conscious awareness when we come into alignment. So we often talk about, oh, you're out of alignment. You want to come into alignment with your chakras. And it's true that when we're out of alignment, it means that the energy flows are not synchronized. So when we synchronize three large celestial bodies, amazing things can happen. But let's also talk about what happens. There is an occlusion of light. So the moon is getting in between us and the sun, and it's blocking our receipt or our view of the light of the sun. And the sun, the way I've always thought of the sun is that it brings us awareness. It brings light. That light again comes in as a wave, and it's photonic, right? It's bringing in photons of information. These are photons are like packets of information that informs our brains. It informs our DNA. It informs our bodies and everything really. The sun is often, I've heard described as a place of holding the memories of the earth. It holds information. It is they're absorbing all of the expressions of life that occurs here on the earth. So it's a repository. It's like a crystal. It's holding information and then it's emitting back to us a reflection of what is occurring here back to us. So if something comes in between us and that light or that ability to transcend, to evolve, then it's an analogy for what has actually been occurring to humans here. And no more poignant time than now. Eclipses have always been, either feared or revered by people throughout the ages. And I think because it is such a strong metaphor for what's going on. So if you think about what's happened to humanity over the past 12,000 years, we see that there's been this squishing or pushing down of the divine feminine. There's been a lot of control. There's been a lot of distortion of the divine masculine, and there's been a lot of power hungry individuals on the planet that have sought to separate ourselves from the knowledge that we are these amazing souls, that humans are these incredible crystalline creatures with DNA that has immense power and potential. Because if we don't need a power structure in order to thrive and survive here, then how does anyone take away anyone else's freedom, right? If you don't know yourself as needing somebody else in order to access what you believe is the divine, then what use do you have of them? You really don't have any use. And how do they control you if the people don't have any use for you? So there's been this whole system that's been put in place to almost dumb humanity down, keep us in a certain place, not allow us to really feel, own, experience our potential. And I have to tell you, the more time I spend with my own soul and with DNA, the potential of the human is enormous. It's immense. Not only are we actually crystals, because all of our DNA's backbone and cellular backbone is all made out of silica and crystalline structures. But we have this amazing DNA that is able to read information from the environment, absorb that information, transmute that, emit a signal back out. It's how we communicate. It gives us access. It's a portal into our whole galactic heritage and lineage. So we have this immense potential and power that we have not, as a species, really fully embraced or come to understand, but that is all changing. So just like there can be an occlusion to the light, there is also a shift, a time when the light shines back on us. And that is the time that we're in right now as a species. We, humanity, are embracing the understanding and the truth of who and what we are. And that pulse of our soul is getting brighter. That pulse of our soul is getting louder. And we are starting to feel that. And that can affect you in any number of ways. It can cause you to feel very high and kind of a little bit spacey and out of it. It can cause you to feel a little bit overwhelmed. It causes you to feel a little bit scatterbrained. It can cause you to feel a little nauseous sometimes as that energy alights within you and begins to increase your frequency. And as your frequency increases, your perception of time changes. And as your perception of time changes, everything sort of seems to speed up. It's not really speeding up, but our perception of things speeding up is definitely occurring. And everyone, I think, can agree on that phenomenon that's occurring right now. And that is because as things lighten up in frequency, everything seems to just move faster. So we're in this great awakening as a species. The earth is moving and transcending into this new era of her expression. So you can expect that because you've been engaged in this process and you're hearing and listening to your soul and feeling that pulse getting louder and louder, that the best thing to do right now, because not everyone is going to hear that signal, right? Not everybody's been paying attention, and they will get to their moment of ascension when they are ready. There's no judgment, there's no reason that anybody has to go right now. There is a choice that can be made here. There is a process to undergo. There is a lightening of density and karma, and not everybody is ready to let go of all of that yet, and that is okay. So you don't have to worry that not everyone's going to make it and that some people are going to get left behind, because there's really no left behind, because we're all souls moving in the same direction of becoming one again with source, and we're all going to get there. And time, linear time anyway, is something that we experience on this planet, but it's not something we experience in higher dimensions. So you don't have to worry that only some of us are going to make it. Everybody's going to make it. They're just going to be on a different timeline than you potentially. And that's okay too, because we're all connected through energy. We always will be. So as we go through this process and lighten up and start to move in that direction and flow with the earth, the more we can connect to our soul energy and the more we can embody who we are as souls, which are so much larger than just who we are as the humans that we know here in the physical, the easier it will be for us to flow through these changes, to absorb them, to become more flow and more in the flow, I would say. It's almost like you become more like an amoeba. You move with your environment. You're not fighting against your environment. You're not shielding yourself against the environment. You're just moving with your environment. You're becoming one with the environment. And that's truly what happens when you increase your frequency. You really just become one with your environment in an entirely different way. You begin to communicate with it. Your consciousness begins to communicate with the energy around you in a much more conscious and aware way. So that's all very exciting. So let's talk about how we really strengthen that relationship with our soul. From my perspective, this occurs when we first set our intention to do so. And intention is a very important part of humans' experience because this is the planet of free will and choice. We come here to experience contrast and to be able to make choices. We want to be able to say, I choose this over that, or I want to do this, I don't want to do that. It's an exercise in choosing. It's an exercise in experience. So, in alignment with that, it's important to state your intentions for what you want to experience because that is making a choice. And choice, again, very important. So we make the choice with our intention, and that's number one. And number two is that we learn to visit that center in our heart and begin to expand that. And so today, together, the exercise I want to do is to use some of the very simple but powerful sacred geometric tools in order to do that. And that is that we are going to use the golden mean spiral to flow down into the center of our heart chakras, and I've done this with you guys who've done meditations with me before. So we're going to travel down through that golden mean spiral. And when we get to the center, we're going to work with a sphere with a center point at it. So the sphere and the point in the center are sacred geometric tools for remembering and connecting to different concepts. And really, geometry is the underlying structure of energy that animates and creates all matter that we experience here, and all matter that is really across the universe. It's got these underpinnings of sacred geometric shapes because it's a way of organizing things and it's a way of bringing things into harmonious flow with each other. So when we work with the sphere, it is a representation of the all. It's a representation of the never ending journey that we're all on. we start and we finish. We don't really start and finish. Actually, we just keep going, right? And we're moving in a sphere. We're moving. Everything is contained within a sphere. It is the all. It is the encompassing of everything. It's the representation, really, of source energy, which is the all, the everything. And then there's the point at the center, and that's a representation of you. You are the individuated consciousness that is also part of the all. So you have this experience in separation here on earth in such a prominent way, poignant way, but you're also always part of the oneness. So that doesn't go away just because you're here experiencing physicality and separation. It doesn't mean that you stop being part of the oneness. It is just that you're not as aware of the fact that you are part of the oneness. And probably most of you guys actually on this connection call today experience yourselves as part of that oneness. But we can amplify that knowing, amplify that embodiment of that oneness by working with our soul energy, because it's your soul energy that is the closest that you can come to experiencing yourself in the oneness that is afforded to all of us as being expressions of source energy. So when we work with the sphere and the point, what we're doing is we are coming back home to our soul energy. And what we're going to do is an experience called potentiating the sphere, where we're going to breathe into the center and then release and expand out to the edges of the sphere, and then breathe back into the center point and release back out to the edges of the sphere. So we're going to go through this process many times. And when we're doing that, what we're going to be accomplishing is opening the gateway into feeling the frequency of your soul. It's going to raise your frequency. And by doing so, it makes it easier for you to feel that pulsing energy of your soul that is within you. And it's also going to align you to the energy of your soul. So it's easier for a pathway of communication to start. Once we open that gateway, I'm going to do some special toning to bring into a connection you with your whole Akashic field, which is another way in my personal experience of just explaining all of your soul's experiences. So you can think of it as the Hall of Records. You can think of it, your personal Hall of Records, that is. You can think of it as your relationship as a soul through time and space and in different planetary systems. It is not limited, or the way that I think about it is not limited to just your earth experiences, because you are so much more than that. So as we open this flow of information to come in through the eighth strand of DNA into this Akashic field or into these halls of records of your soul, what we're doing is we're calling home, we're sending out a beacon signal to all of our star families and our galactic connections. Because as soon as we align ourselves in this embodiment to the frequency and the energy of your soul, it's like sending out a broadcast signal to all of the aspects of your soul. It's like coming home. And that is what returning to the soul truly is. This is the beacon signal to bring you back home. And this is the cleanest, safest place that you can visit in the whole of the cosmos, because your soul is always going to be looking out for you. Your soul is always going to have your best interests in mind. Your soul is always going to be putting you into a space of protected, beautiful, benevolent love. So you can't go wrong by connecting to your soul. And if you want to make connections outside of yourself with other beings, then if you go through the energy of your soul first, then you know that you will be showing up as your full expression, not as one fractal of your soul expression that may be more vulnerable to being distorted by another being with, I would say, like a higher consciousness or an ability to have a better energetic purview, right? Better energetic visualization of everything that's going wrong on, not wrong. That was a little slip there. The reason it's not just about what's going wrong, it's also about what is possible. We don't want any being that doesn't want us to evolve to get in and start messing with our signals or what we're hearing or who we're hearing from or what that information means. There's a lot of opportunity for distortion out there. If you're just going through your soul and you're listening to your soul, that gets dramatically decreased, diminished down to zero because the relationship is just between you and your soul. And then when you spread out from there, you've got a very strong thread of energy that reaches out to connect to another in a more equal way, not as in, I am this lowly earth being and you are this great, wonderful, high vibrational, high dimension density being. No, it's not like that at all. We're all equals. Everything is the same, energetically speaking. And so you don't want to be in that position of feeling diminished or experiencing yourself in that diminished capacity. So, lots of reasons why we want to do this. And the main thing is that the earth is moving so rapidly in her own ascension right now. And that when we're out of alignment with our own soul energy, that can feel pretty tough here. It's a lot easier when we're in that full alignment. So let's get started with doing this process together. And then this is something that I would encourage each of you after we do this together today. I would encourage each of you to practice this and to make it a regular routine to go into your soul energy, to connect with that energy there. Send love into the earth, send love up to the sun, bring yourself into an expansion of your heart and then spend some time listening to your soul. Ask what it is that you need to know at this time. Ask for your intention to be in alignment with your soul energy. Allow your soul to do the driving in your day to day life. And it's not about giving up control, it's really about releasing yourself to your full potential. It's not about something else controlling you. It's really about you not having to worry about what it is that you need to be doing while you're here because really your soul completely knows. You want to know what your purpose is. You want to know why you came back. Your soul has the answer. You can hire somebody to go in there and tinker around in your energy field and let you know what they see. But you have to know every time you do that, they're going to be bringing their own perspective and their own filter of connection into your energy field to relay that back to you. If you can get good at going in yourself and listening to your soul, then you don't really need any go between. We are moving into the area of full self actualization here, where we don't need other people to tell us how to go in, where to be, um, how to know ourselves. We're going to know ourselves firsthand through our soul energy. And that's the real you. That's the you that is timeless and forever, ever infinite. So that's a place that is really wonderful to hang out, to get to know better. And it's definitely going to put you in touch with who you are completely and why you came back at this time, because we all have our own reason for being here right now. You might have come to assist Earth. You might have come to bring back some and awaken some of the genetics of some of the star families that are part of the mosaic of your DNA. You might have come back to really fight the fight against the oppression. You might have come back just to sit and share your energy field. You might have come back to be a parent, a mom, a dad. You might have come back specifically for experiencing that and holding and anchoring the energy of love through family. You might have come to do any number of things. Gosh, it's just endless why we're all here, and it's completely unique to each of us. And it's multifaceted and multi-layered. Your purpose here is not just one thing, it's several things. But one thing I know for sure that if you came back to Earth at this time and you didn't take the exit ramp over the last 3 years, and you're still here and you're still thriving, surviving in any way that you are right now, I know that you are here for a reason. You came for this main event. You came to watch this, you came to experience it, and you came to be a part of it in your own way. And so, the more time you spend with your soul, the more obvious and clear that's going to become to you. All right, great. So, if everybody would like to now get comfortable, close your eyes, and we're going to start with some deep breathing. And then we're going to move into the heart frequency. So, with your eyes closed, take a nice deep breath in through the nose, all the way down to the belly. and release out through the mouth. Feel yourself relaxing, letting go with each breath. Feel your muscles soften and relax. Feel your breath gently draw you inward into the center of your being. And with our intention now, we create the energy and the statement that we are here today to merge into open communication and stronger awareness of our soul energy. We open this space to create that beautiful communication and connection between our awareness in this third dimension with the totality of our soul energy. To dissolve those unseen barriers that do not really exist, to know ourselves in freedom, to know ourselves as complete, as expressions of our soul. And we're going to take a moment to send our love and our energy down into earth. This energy flows from your heart down through your lower chakras and down into Earth's body. We send her our gratitude. We send her our love. And you can feel this energy of connection as she receives this beautiful blessing from you. And we also open ourselves and send our love up into the sun. We send our love and our gratitude to the sun, that beautiful celestial being that showers us with light, with healing, with information and ascension. These two planetary bodies, both the Earth and the Sun, have energy flows that move through you easily, merging, flowing together, and coming as one at your heart. Take a nice deep breath. And we're going to flow now into the center of our heart to access our soul energy by overlaying the geometry of the sacred mean spiral over your heart chakra. And this is a spiral similar to a nautilus shell. And so just imagine yourself on the outer rings of that spiral, flowing down through the rings and moving down closer and closer to the center. And this carries you deeper and deeper into the field of energy of your heart chakra. As you move towards the center and move deeper and deeper into this energy field, you begin to hone in on a single point of energy and light. And this is the center of the sphere that is the representation of your expression here in this moment in time. I want you to take a nice deep breath and just feel all of the energy around you flowing deeply into this center, into this point of light, and flowing right down into the center of it with the inhale. Then, as you exhale, just release that energy and watch as it expands outward. It expands outwards to the point that you begin to notice there is a sphere there. As you breathe back in, the energy flows back to the center of the sphere, to the point, and then you release and it flows back out. This pulsating of energy inward and outward is like the natural breath of your soul. You're continually drawing energy in towards the point of the self and releasing energy and information back out to the all that is. The rhythm of the breath brings in the flow of the energy to the center and releases out to the all, the everything. Continue breathing that way. This is creating a toroidal pattern of energy flow in the center of your heart that is opening a gateway. It's almost like a stargate. It opens up this portal of energy and information that allows you to begin to feel, to know, to access your greater soul energy. Good. And now, as I move through the center of each of your toroid of information and energy flow, I'm going to link you all into this tube and flow of information that comes in from the eighth strand and through to the emanation of you as a physical being. And flowing through that tube of expression and into the room of your Akashic field, into your greater soul's energy, we flow into this space and we allow this connection and this increased capacity for feeling, knowing, and experiencing yourself as the full complement of all of the knowledge, of all of the information, all of the lifetimes that you've had, whether they're here on earth or other places, the access to that whole holo records of you, your conscious being. That is the place that we are accessing through this toroidal field. Take a nice deep breath again, and I'm going to begin to bring in the stream of information and flow into your whole being through some very specific tones along with the use of my sound bowl. Anished, 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 Aneon, There are many, many beings here who have been waiting for a very long time for humanity to reconnect with their soul energy in this way. And they are here to lend their energy and their support, their love, their honoring for this journey that we as humans have undertaken here, to be here in support of Earth, to be here in support of each other, to be here in support of a transition. The amount of energy released as a mass of consciousness goes through a major transition of this magnitude is enormous, and it alights all of the universe. It alights many beings. It changes, it shifts the consciousness of many. For those beings that are not as ready to transition, there are many, many that will spontaneously transition because of the weight, the mass, the magnitude of the shift in consciousness that we are beginning to flow into at this moment on our planet. So many beings watching, celebrating, honoring this process, honoring this moment. Each of you honored for your agreement to come back here to be a part of this. Each of you honored for your willingness to experience the contrast, to experience the loss of memory of who and what you are, that longing for connection, that longing for home, that longing for knowing yourself truly. We now come into a frequency that enables us to quench that longing, to know yourself, to love yourself truly. You cannot love yourself fully unless you know yourself. You cannot know yourself unless you embody your soul, because that is truly who you are. The experiences you've had as a human since you remember, since you've been here, are but a small fraction of who you are. The full expression of your soul energy is the truth of your being. And the coming home to that frequency is truly why we are here. And the more of us that come home to our soul, the faster the evolution, the faster the momentum carries. We add to the momentum of Earth's momentum that is already in process. It's already in motion. We begin to augment that momentum, to make it stronger, to increase it with each and every time we return to our soul and align to that frequency. You are in a state of alignment at this moment. And remember this place. Come back to it. Know that this alignment is the truth of your being. Know that your DNA is ready for that alignment and that your DNA is responding to these new frequencies joyfully, is excited for this experience, this shift in experience. It has been a long time coming in linear perspective. We have a whole new adventure awaiting us. A wonderful time to be here. Please take a nice deep breath. Feel all of that energy flowing through your body. Your heart is your gateway. It's your pathway into this place. When you use your heart this way, when you connect to your heart this way, it has so many amazing benefits. It will increase your energy field. It will bring you closer to knowing yourself and giving yourself comfort and calm during these times of change. It will become a calling card that others will recognize within you of your true self, not as the self that may be responding to an aspect of fear, but the aspect of you that knows itself in freedom, unbridled, untethered, unguarded heart, strong, confident, complete. Thank you so much for sharing in this energy with me today. I hope that it was wonderful for you. It was certainly wonderful for me, and I love connecting with all of you live. It's a treat. And I hope that you will all have a chance to practice being with your soul and making these great connections and sharing this information with others, helping others to also connect with their soul. It's not hard. It's actually quite easy now with this change in frequency. So don't keep it to yourself. Share it for those who are ready to hear it. Take care, everyone. Love to you all. And I will see you again soon. Bye.